Hello, viewers. Welcome to Good Morning Tarot. Well, it's another day, and I invite you to have a tarot reading with me. Now, this is a general reading, okay, and because it's a general reading, it is open to all signs. Now, it's also a timeless reading, so anytime you find yourself watching this video, there must be a special message for you. Okay, let's see what is the main energy for us for today. Okay, we have here the Knight of Pentacles. It seems that there is something or several things in our life right now that we need to work on patiently. Okay, there is a gift. We receive a gift from the universe. Actually, the Knight of Pentacles is holding it right now. He's holding it. It's like a seed that needs to be planted. Now, it requires tilling of the land, and it seems that the universe already has tilled the land, or somebody else already prepared it for us. So it can be a certain project that has already been sort of, either the universe has already prepared things for us. If all we have to do now is to execute it. So it's like that also. Oftentimes when we receive a gift from the universe has prepared everything. The situation, the people, everything is planned already. Even the blueprint is already there. All we have to do is to receive the gift and to implement it by planting it. It means all we have to do is to execute the gift. So it's very important for us to listen to the instruction, because we are not the one who prepared it. It's the universe who prepared it for us. So we need to ask for the instruction, and every once in a while we need to correlate or coordinate with our spirit guides and with the divine, so that we will be able to do things as it is planned, as it was planned by the universe to have it happen. Now, sometimes the universe also asks the help of anything in the universe in order to make it possible for us, especially in those moments when we cannot handle it. Okay, certain moments wherein they might even send us people who will guide us so that we will know how to do it also. So all we have to do is to cooperate with the universe so that this project will unfold and will become successful. But we need to really have certain aspects in us, because whatever you received right now from the universe, it's not something that you can immediately benefit from. Oftentimes the good things take time. Okay, great things take time. So if the universe gives us this gift of transformation or gift of ascension, spiritual ascension, it's not just a snap. Although there are moments wherein you suddenly snap because previous, for example, suddenly you realize you have that gift of one of those clear gifts. For example, for one moment you are not aware that you have it, and then one moment, snap, you become aware, hey, what is this one? I am able to. Suddenly you become aware, you immediately have that gift of clairaudience, or the gift of clairvoyance. It sometimes surprises us that we already have that kind of gift, but unaware, most of the time we are unaware that before that happened, that sudden shift, the universe was already preparing us a long time ahead of that. There were a lot of situations that led to the evolution of that clear gift. Like, for example, for some of us, you might have started with a crisis, and because of that crisis, we spend more time alone. We spend more time preparing ourselves, and we were not sure of what we were preparing ourselves for. And then later on, it developed, and then suddenly we became aware that we already have the gift. So it is something that takes time. If it is a new relationship, it's the same. It takes time for the relationship to develop. there's a moment of getting to know each other, discovering each other, a time of learning to adapt to each other, learning to dance with each other. Getting to know each other is not an easy way also. It takes time. So oftentimes that is the beautiful gifts that we receive is not something that comes in a snap. Like for example, when you want coffee, yes, there are instant coffees, but there's a certain difference when you brew the coffee and you wait for it and you somehow savor the scent of the coffee as it is being brewed. So in a certain sense, beautiful things sometimes take a certain period of time for it to come into a reality. So right now, I feel we have received a certain gift from the universe, and we already have everything prepared. As just as the Knight of Pentacles, the land is already tilled, but he will need to be patient. He will need to be diligent. He will need to be constantly working on it. He will need to be also receptive to the guidance that the universe is giving to them. And somehow, the Knight of Pentacles is the reliable person to go to. This is the person who is not in a hurry, the person who is very, very systematic, and the person who will make sure that it will come true. And somehow I feel the card is telling us that we have that quality of the Knight of Pentacles. Because if we do not have that kind of quality, the universe will not give you that kind of gift that will require patience, dependability, because somehow the universe also knows that the moment we become aware of these gifts, we will have all these qualities because we, by intuition, know the value of the gift that we have received. So this is our main energy for today. You receive the gift, and this gift will take some time, but this gift is something very valuable and something I feel you know by intuition without really the universe telling you directly about it. You know by intuition that it is something valuable in your life's journey. Now let us try to see how it will unfold a little bit later. It will allow you to move forward through life and allow you to attain a certain holistic maturity wherein the opposites of your life, the opposites of your personality will come together, cooperate, and allow you to move forward towards maturity. Maturity in all aspects, physically, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually. It's true. Whatever this gift is, whether it be a new relationship, it will have part of it as growth and transformation. You have the stars around you. The stars symbolizes the universe guiding us. We have the wings in front of the chariot that will not just allow us to move forward, but for some of us will allow us to fly. Now, there is a certain importance of being in a quiet place outside from the hustle bustle of the city life. Okay, there will be a need for us to spend some moments on our own. Well, sometimes being out of the city doesn't have to be really physically out of the city. You can bring nature into your home. You can always take care of plants, gardening, and somehow it makes your place like an oasis in the center of a concrete jungle. So in a certain sense, yeah, you will be needing more time being closer to nature in order to move forward towards maturity, towards a certain balance in your life. And you will have that certain confidence. So, whatever this gift is, I feel it will lead to your maturity as a person, to holistic healing, to better health in all aspects of your person, uh, greater intuition, greater awareness. I feel also, yeah, having that thankful spirituality will be a great help for you. And all throughout this time, the sun will be shining. So I feel that you will experience a change in your days. You will be seeing better days. So this is what I see. Having better days doesn't mean that everything will be always okay. It will have somehow it will make you have a better disposition each day when you wake up and face the challenges that are given to us by the universe so that we will be able to evolve further. So it's more of having a better disposition towards life. So that whatever life brings to us or gives to us, we are always able to face it with a sunny disposition. Now let's try to see what is the gift of the universe or the advice of the universe for us as we face this beautiful, as we start to plant this beautiful gift, and we are able to really move forward in our spiritual journey. Well, the advice of the universe is leave behind those things that no longer help you in your journey. Okay. So you need to sit down and you need to assess your life. Okay, what are those things in my life right now that I need to let go? So it's like making sort of like decluttering your life. You look at those aspects on your life that no longer spark joy. Okay. And if these things are no longer sparking joy, we honestly and gently tell it, thank you, but I have to let you go. Okay. So decluttering. It can be physical decluttering. You can share those things that you no longer need. You declutter it. When you physically declutter, uh, interiorly you attain a certain decluttering also. Oftentimes what we do in our interior world also affects what is happening in our exterior world. And it's the same, it's vice versa. What you do in your exterior world also affects what we do in our interior world. So when you do physical decluttering, somehow there is also cleaning up that is happening within us. Now, we try to see, it's time for us to sit down and try to see, okay, what are the situations that are not helping us in our journey? Maybe we need to change it. What are the environmental situations that we no longer should be putting ourselves in so that we'll be able to really move forward and really make that dream or that gift that was given by the universe come into reality. So there might be some lifestyles, maybe some relationships, some life situations that are no longer supportive of this new gift that you are receiving. We need to remove them. It's like a seed that in order for that seed to grow into a big plant, we need to remove the weeds. We need to protect it, put some boundaries in it. Sometimes because we don't know, like for example, when you plant something and it's still a seedling, you protect it from too much environmental trauma. So you put fences, sometimes you even put a little shade, no, so that this little gift will grow. So part of it is having good boundaries also. And part of it is letting go of those things that no longer serve you and receiving open-heartedly whatever gifts that will help us make this new inspiration come into a reality. We also need to sit on the shade every once in a while. So every once in a while, we need to take pauses, we need to take rests, so that we'll have continued energy to move forward and continued energy to work in the field. So somehow this is what I can see for you right now. Now take how it resonates with you. By intuition, you know how you can apply these readings to your present situation. Well, let's go to the second part, which is the self-care tip. So, for our self-care tip for today, we have here: breathe deeply into the depth of your being and allow what bubbles up to be wholeheartedly shared and valued. Okay, breath. The main messages for today is to give value to our gift of breathing. Another thing that that immediately came to me as we started the second part is I saw the plant that is hanging in that plant container there. It's a hanging plant, no. And what immediately came to me when I was looking at that hanging plant before we started reading the phrase is that try to see if you can put some more plants in your room or in where you spend most of your time in, because part of the important elements of breathing is having oxygen. Okay, and oxygen is provided to us by our sister and brother plants. Okay, so we need the plants also. I feel that part of that breathing, because when we undergo transformation, we start to realize or recognize again the importance of breath in our life. And when we put more plants, it reminds us of the importance of breathing. At the same time, also the plant also take an active part as we try to reorient ourselves with breathing. While meditating on breath this morning, when I woke up during my quiet moment, I after I read also this card, I started applying the breathing that was advised to you. Breathe deeply. And immediately it brought me to an alpha state and I started receiving messages. I realized that breathing is our companion from the moment we came out of the tomb. The moment we came out of the tomb, before we started crying, the first thing that we did was to take a deep breath. And from that moment on, breathing accompanied us and we relied very much on breathing. We can hold our breath for a certain period of time, but only for a certain period of time. And after a while, we find ourselves gasping for it. We cannot live without breathing. I remember sometimes when we fall in love with somebody and we are, immaturely become dependent or unconsciously become dependent of the other person, and then we ended up making that person filling up our cup. When we unconsciously become like that, when they start to live our life, we sort of have always that phrase or that point of view that we say, I cannot live without you. Okay. There's this song, how can I live without you? Okay, something like that. Well, it's the same with breath. Actually, breath is more important than people. Okay. People can come and go. And once you grow and once you learn that the most important thing actually is a deep relationship with the divine and also a deep loving relationship with yourself. Once you have these two important elements, you can allow people to come and go in your life without you being too much affected by it. You feel sad because they cannot share in your joy, in the joy of your life experiences, but also you are able to let them go because you realize that they are not really, we shouldn't really put burden on them to fill up our cup always, because the cause of our joy, The source of our joy is actually that deepened relationship with the divine and that deepened relationship with ourselves. And that we reach out to them because we want them to share in that joy that we have. So we allow them to come and go in our life. But it's different when it comes to breath. Breath is life. If we stop breathing, then life also stops, at least in this dimension. But breath also gives us further gifts. And you discover it when you start to reorient yourself or be sort of like befriending again our breath. Uh, Breath is a friend. And like other friends, very loyal friends, because breath has always been with us through thick or thin. Actually, when we are in difficult situations or in fight or flight situations, breath is the one that is taking an active part. We breathe deeply. Okay, oftentimes when you are angry, you breathe deeply. It's as if breath is also taking part in that situation. When you're angry, even breath is loyally angry with you. When you feel like resting, breath is the one that accompanies you also. Breath influences many aspects of our life, and I feel like a friend, we sometimes take it for granted. I feel that this card right now invites us to befriend our breath, to re sort of relearn how it is to truly breathe. And the best way to do that is to have quality time with your friend, to have quality time with breathing. So we need to dedicate certain moments of the day to spend. Maybe it doesn't have to be very long. You can spend only 5 minutes in the morning and maybe 5 minutes in the evening just doing some breathing exercises. My advice or my suggestion is, yes, start with 5 minutes. When you wake up in the morning, when you start your me time, okay, just spend, just take a very comfortable position. You don't have to take the yoga posture. If you can do the yoga posture, good. But if you physically cannot do it, just start by taking a comfortable position and just breathe slowly. And as you breathe, tell your body to relax and allow breath to bring you to that state of being wherein you are somewhere between consciousness and dreaming. It's easy once you allow to learn to just relax and just to enjoy the process of breathing. You breathe slowly. Sooner or later, it becomes a normal routine where the breathing, after a short period of time, will bring you into that alpha state wherein you are in between awareness and dreaming. When you are in this alpha state, oftentimes what comes into your mind, you can remember. But it's okay. There are certain dreams that we forget. It's true. But if it is something that is very important for you right now, you will remember it. So it's good to start the day and also maybe to end the day with at least 5 minutes of breathing exercise. And as it brings you to that alpha state, as the breathing brings you into that alpha state, after being relaxed, be aware of what you see, whether it be visions or a dream. Be aware of what you feel. So oftentimes when you dream, what accompanies the dream is a certain emotion. For example, in your dream you encountered a certain situation or you encountered a certain person. Try to be aware what kind of emotions this vision triggers in you. So now you are aware of two messages, the vision and also the feeling, clairsentience, clairvoyance. Be aware also of whatever phrases, whatever dialogues or languages you suddenly receive while you are in that alpha state. It can be just a short phrase of a song. It can be just maybe a sound of a bird. Now, the hearing oftentimes is not that physical hearing, although sometimes it can be also physical hearing. For example, while you are meditating, suddenly you hear a bird really singing outside, and suddenly it brings you a certain insight. But oftentimes, the things that you hear are not really heard by the physical ear, but our inner ear. So that is clairaudience also. So be aware also of what you might hear. It can be a phrase, a song, a message. And lastly, be aware also of the thoughts that come to you. So for example, if there's a certain scene, you are aware of how you feel, you are aware of the messages that you are hearing, but you are also aware of the thoughts that come to you, which is claircognizance. When you do the breathing introduces us also, orients us also to the gifts that we receive from the divine. So I feel right now our self-care tip introduces us or reintroduces us to this very important friend that accompanies us throughout our lifetime in this dimension. And that is our friend, breathing. The friend who has been there from the moment we saw daylight and will be with us at the last moment of our life. So the invitation for us is, yes, maybe it's time for us to again befriend our friend breath. Okay, so today try to start with just a few minutes, 3 to 5 minutes of breathing exercises. Just breathe deeply into the depth of your being and allow what bubbles up to be wholeheartedly shared and valued. So you value the messages or the gifts that are coming up as you do this moment or as you spend a moment of meditation. So this is an indirect message that somehow breathe, and as you breathe, you open up yourself to the gifts of the universe. And when they start coming up, when they start to bubble up, be aware of them. Hold on to them. Don't just let them go. You cherish that gift that comes up with the gift of breathing. And if we can share it with others, that would be a beautiful thing. So that's it for today. It's a simple self-care tip. Spend some time with breathing. Start small, start simple. Do something that is just doable. 3 to 5 minutes a day at the start of the day. Even if before you rise up, you can start the breathing already. Take a deep breath. Imagine yourself just coming out of the womb of your mother and taking that vital first breath. When we wake up, it's like coming out of the tomb. It's like coming out of the cocoon. The first vital thing that we can do is to consciously make that beautiful first breath. At least first breath by being aware of it. Because we were breathing even before we wake up. Okay, anyway. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for being with me at this moment. And thank you for the likes and comments that you constantly give to the channel. Thank you also for subscribing. I hope to see you again next time. Until that time, may God continue to bless your ways.